the drive is worth the feeling of serenity.
What's the name of the place you're going to today?
Sandy Point State Park.
Anita Hartsock takes her exercise seriously.
So it's about a 40-mile, 45-minute drive. I always meet at least one person. It's mostly a safety factor. You don't ever want to do this alone.
On this day, she's joined by Tom, Carol, Lynn, and Colleen. 4 friends, all in their 40s and 50s with a common bond.
And that's the bay, with the Bay Bridge.
This is the first nice weekend of the spring, but it's still breezy and crisp. This group is not here for a nice day on the beach.
I ask myself why I do this.
We ask why you do this.
On neoprene socks, because the water is cold and my extremities get really cold. Otherwise, you can lose all sensation.
The bay is 50 degrees. You guessed it, so now watch and listen.
The worst for me is like the hands and face.
Freaking love Tom.
You walk in and everything kind of starts to burn, and then you kind of settle in, and you just cold is the point.
Getting in is one thing. Going under, that's quite another.
Yeah, this is swimming. This is swimming weather.
I'm proud of the fact that we come out here and we swim in this insane water. And this is a beautiful place to swim, too.
But on a day when even children have enough sense to only let their toes touch, land lovers can only
Oh, that hurts.
equal parts disbelief and admiration.
I think they're nuts. I think they're crazy.
Impressive, crazy, brave, awesome.
I'm the biggest wimp of all of them. I hate cold water. I despise cold water.
So by now you're probably asking, then why do they do it? To achieve a goal, Tom, Anita, and Carol are all preparing to swim either the English Channel, around Manhattan, or from Catalina Island to Los Angeles. And for this group, it's entirely realistic, considering
And Anita and I have done the first crown already, which is Manhattan.
28.5 miles, under 20 bridges. Mission accomplished. My goodness, man.
Why?
Why?
Because I'm acclimating for the 2 channel swims, and that water's between 50 and 60. So I've got to get used to being in this water for anywhere from 12 to 16 hours. I do it to face the challenge and to finish.
And then there's this.
Feel alive.
And I just feel really happy doing it.
Happiness, it turns out, has been elusive during this time of COVID. Anita and Colleen, both union electricians at the Ford and National Theaters, were laid off when live performances ended.
It's been a really, really rough year.
Rough year, healing waters.
Helps you with anxiety, helps you with depression. It's one of the main reasons that I've held my stuff together during the course of COVID.
Every member of this group, which has no cute nickname or formal organization, is aware that what they are doing can be dangerous.
You could have a heart attack if you get in too fast. You could get hypothermia. I think that's the greatest danger is hypothermia. So you should never do it alone.
If you develop hypothermia or if you get too cold, you want to be able to get out.
You'll see, when I get out of the water, I'm going to shake pretty violently.
And after 20 minutes, Tom is done.
The water buoys you and lifts your spirit, and here it comes.
You're seeing his body trying to warm up. It's expected. And 5 minutes later, Tom, a nuclear engineer, says he's fine.
No, my mother says that all the time, that you would think I'd have more sense than this.
Then at 30, it's Carol's turn.
It was awesome.
Anita and Carol Lynn swim side by side. They stay in the longest, waiting, standing at the end till they reach
An hour.
Look, even they'll tell you what they're doing is crazy. And who are we to judge?
It's a special, crazy way to bring joy during a pandemic. There's a total sense of community.
Every time I go, it's the best swim. Every day it gets better.
It shocks me to see the veterans living in vehicles, in tents, under bridges.
You know, you're talking about one of the basic needs, human needs. You got to have shelter. And once you have that, it just changes the whole direction.
When name is Lieutenant Colonel Deborah Snyder. I'm U.S. Army retired, and I'm the President and CEO of Operation Renewed Hope Foundation. We provide quality housing to our veterans experiencing homelessness. In the military, you learn to do for yourself and you learn to help others. And so when these veterans get in bad situations, they do wait until the very last minute to ask and reach out for help. We're about providing quality housing to our veterans, and so that's why we had this home renovated.
My name's Yetta Rushford. I'm a design consultant for Renewal by Anderson.
From Anderson, Yetta Rushford reached out to us.
And I came upon Renewed Hope actually watching the news on television, and one thing just caught my ears. Her idea is to end veteran homelessness. My son's in the Marine Corps, Kyle, and it hit me. I called her up that night. I called up the company and said, listen, I want to get involved. I don't care how, I don't know when. And we were a perfect fit.
Thanks to Renewal by Anderson with brand new windows in this now 4-bedroom house.
It's been 100% supportive. It's like, yeah, whatever we can do, however much we can do is great. And Anderson corporately too, same thing. It's great to be involved.
I'm the general manager for Renewal by Anderson here in the Capital Region. The most gratifying thing for me is when our folks that work for our company do these type of things on their own, they take their own initiative. To me, that feels like we've done our job in creating a culture that fosters that.
This house is going to be used for a family, a large family, to get them back on their feet. This family had been living in their vehicle. Vehicle got repossessed. Living in this home, the veterans family is going to be changed forever. We're just so appreciative of all of the hard work that has been put into this home.
It looks beautiful, man. It looks beautiful.
And we're really grateful that we can give back.
We've had some veterans tell us that if it weren't for us, they wouldn't be here today.
Oh, we can't thank you enough. We're so happy to be involved. I can't wait to do the next one. That's how it makes me feel.
Never in my life have I picked up a hitchhiker, but then I saw Monte Henson. Monte may not look like a college student, but he travels like one. Most mornings he takes the 51. But if late, he hitchhikes, and that's how I met him.
Hey, Monte. What?
On a 3-mile journey of inspiration that began in 1993.
Both of my parents were addicted to drugs, and I was born with crack in my system, 3 months premature.
You called yourself a crack baby?
Pretty much.
He has 14 brothers and sisters.
None of us share the same mother and father.
Parents shape a child, and they did so here.
To have wisdom, you have to be able to learn from other people's mistakes. So I tried to just look at my parents and look at my father, especially, who spent a lot of time incarcerated.
Street drugs ended up killing his father, but early on, his grandma saved him. She's a janitor. Overnight, she cleans this high-rise downtown.
As soon as I got with my grandmother, she instilled, learning is fun in me, and I really did have fun learning growing up. So,
after 2 years of good grades here at Morgan State, he had to drop out. Tuition was just too expensive. Then, while working a warehouse job, he saw an ad for the Year Up training program. 6 months technical, then a 6-month internship, a year investment resulting in a job.
Monte is doing exceptional. He is a natural leader.
250,000 people have seen my post about Monte. Jasmine was one of them.
You would be less than if you didn't have or feel something about his story.
A story he hopes to continue by using artificial intelligence to help others.
I really want to help make AI for robots that help people with mental issues.
After that first time I gave Monte a ride to class, he looked me in the eye, shook my hand, and said thank you. Then he pulled out $6. He wanted to pay me for the ride. No way. I should have paid him. I'm Mike Shue, WJZ Eyewitness News. Back to you on TV Hill. You don't so much enter as trespass. Artist Matthew Gray takes the lead. You can't miss it. It glows in the sun in a way I've never seen before.
This is solid candy. So you're looking at 7,000 pounds of material.
3.5 tons, 10 feet tall, in a burned out warehouse. It's fair to ask, why is this art? I don't know, but I know when I see it. This is art, strange, beautiful, and powerful. I get it.
There is nothing to get, other than if it's simply a kind of beauty, a perverse, it doesn't make sense.
But there's nothing about dropping the world's largest piece of candy by crane into a burned out warehouse that makes sense. And that's kind of exciting.
So it's pure art for the creative gesture. One of my running mottos is, my madness will always trump your logic.
Why here? Why now? Why this burned out shell? And who agreed to let him?
Who are you going to ask permission? Because I've tried to do this for 3 years in North Carolina, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and finally it's, we got to go.
And go he did, spending $15,000 of his own money, not asking permission, not getting any permits, spending 36 hours continuously melting sugar and pouring it into the mold. Flies are trapped in its amber. Over time it will melt, dissolve, and fail.
I don't fully understand what this thing's about.
This thing, stand next to it. You can feel its presence. Don't take my word for it. Come visit. No one is in charge here.
The logic is that it's illogical.
The real treat may be how you feel, searching for candy inside these ruins in East Baltimore. Mike Shue, WJZ Eyewitness News. When being arrested, Freddie Gray can't even walk. But it gets worse. Soon his voice box will be partially crushed. 3 bones in his neck will be broken. Police can't or won't say how he ends up like this, on a ventilator, in a coma. Is he going to pull through?
We don't know. He just laying there. He just laying there.
In his neighborhood, hundreds are gathering, including his mom, who doesn't want to be on camera. She wonders why police didn't protect her son while in custody.
That's right, but they didn't check my son.
They didn't protect him?
They didn't check my son.
No justice, no peace! Violence isn't just talk on Baker Street. Some of these people live it. Rhonda Herring's son was murdered 100 feet from where we walk. She's fed up and blames the mayor. She wasn't in the back of that police van. How can you blame her?
Okay, well, I can blame her because this wasn't the first incident, and she knows it's not the first incident.
Teresa Johnson says her son was beaten when he was arrested.
But the word you used to me before was, it's getting to be routine.
It's getting to be routine.
The end point, the Western District. Police guard the front door. The crowd, now over 200 strong, go no closer and finish with prayer. Their call is for justice for Freddie Gray and for his family, peace.